Remember, there's some pretty important information here in the disclaimer. You might want to give the video a quick pause and read it.
Hello my friends, it is I, Wake Angel 2001, coming at you with a commission for Project Elements. It is a fan character named Blade the Hedgehog. But real quick, before I get into Blade, I want to show you guys that I did do the Surge fix. What I had to do was just shorten her legs. I cut material out of her thigh. I cut as much as I possibly could before I met the joints, which was slightly less than 1/4 of an inch worth of material, and glued the two ends back together, and then used some epoxy sculpt to, hide the cut scars. With a quick repaint, she now just has shorter legs. And, standing her next to the Sonic figure, she's still a tiny bit taller, but not by much. The tops of their heads still line up. So I'm going to call this a win. The Surge figure is just a tiny bit shorter and blends in better. I'm sure, if this Sonic had the soap shoes that made him a little bit taller, then they'd look even better next to each other. But I digress. That was one of last month's figures, and we're working on this month. So Elements sent me this. It was a pile of broken and dismantled Sonic figure parts, because apparently he had tried to make the custom himself, but wasn't quite able to pull it off. So I just, I had to work. I was relieved of the guilt of having to tear apart a Jazzwares Sonic figure, because those things are so rare. However, this means I'm able to revive my old school techniques, such as completely hand sculpting all the unique elements of the head. Yeah, no 3D printing here. I took the Sonic head, I cut it down and smoothed it out as much as I could to make room for the new sculpt, and then I put the new spine patterns on, which are 3 upturned spines on either side of his head, and then the regular Sonic spine in the middle. That was what I was told. And there's no central spine coming out of the back of the head, which actually turned out to work in this figure's favor. We'll talk about that later. Now the figure has a pretty unique idea of a purple on red. Kind of a cool thing. Has a neon appeal to it. He also has the purple highlights around his eyes, including one where it looks like a scar mark. So yes, with the head completed, there was also a little bit of sculpting that I had to do to the torso to add that patch of chest floof. But aside from that, it was a quick red repaint. The Shadow shoes used a little bit more sculpting to make their sock cuff look more like his. And they painted them. I followed the natural patterns of Shadow shoes and painted on the same pattern that I saw in the drawing. I figured it would look better this way than, having to go against the grain and have seam lines. We didn't want that. The gloves I just had to paint a stripe in the cuff. That's it. I also added a little craft foam vest. Painting the arms gray makes them the sleeves of his jacket, but he needs a jacket part in his body, and that's what the craft foam is for. And that is Blade. Very cool looking OC fan character guy. The figure stands really well. I think because there's one less spine coming out of the middle of his head, it makes the figure way less top heavy, and he's able to stand on Shadow's feet exceptionally well. This is actually one of the better balanced Jazzwares figures I've ever handled. But yeah, now we have Blade. I guess it's a little bit of a twofer. You got to see the improvements I did to Surge and a new OC done with old school techniques. Yeah, I bet you guys feeling pretty nostalgic now, seeing Wake Angel 2001 use the old-fashioned techniques that I used way back in the day. So, yeah. Hope you guys liked it, and I guess it's time for me to sign off. See you next time, friends.
Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Sonic the Hedgehog. Just here to remind you that if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. And for even more amazing customs, don't forget to subscribe to Wake Angel 2001, because between you and me, they're way past cool.